struggles in conference play, but last game he had a season high of 6 assists. How would you kind of notice him develop through this conference stretch?
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that he's going to make, grow and develop and make strides in decision making. And he's thinking about, I think our team collectively is moving the ball pretty well, so it's contagious amongst the group. And yeah, I mean, he's been guarding and playing the defensive end at a really high level, so we're happy with Lou right now.
How's the overall play been relative to your expectations just at the midway point of Pac-12? Yeah,
I mean, do you think there might have been one or two out there that we didn't get? Maybe one that we should have gotten, but I think overall I'm pleased with where we're heading and just how we've embraced some of the changes and things we need to do to get better as a team. And, I think we have to try and guard the three-point line a little better, and it's been we lost too many shooters, and we some of our ball screen coverages allowed them to get open looks, and even in the first half they were missing some open ones too. We just got lucky, so we got to play better defense behind the three-point line, and Washington State will test every bit of that. So we've been focusing on defending the three-point line this week.
What's Tayshawn's status again? He went out early.
Yeah, Tay, again, he dove on that loose ball and then re-aggravated his symptoms from the concussion. So he's now in a more extended concussion protocol, and we're taking all the necessary safety precautions with him to make sure that he's symptom-free, and this is a longer one, so he'll miss this week at a minimum, and then we'll reevaluate him early next week.
Coach, in the last game, it seems like you kind of stuck to kind of a starting core group, and guys like Kamani and Daquan didn't get as many minutes. Do you think the goal is to try to keep them together on the floor, or to utilize them bench a little more?
Well, I mean, you kind of go by feel and who's got it going, and a game like that, it's Kamani was not at his very best, and he's looked better this week, and you can say the same thing for Daquan. But that game, we just needed the guys out on the floor that were out there.
Coach, the last couple of games, Rob's had a couple of big shots and a lot of poise out the court. What do you think that poise got to stem from this game and this play?
Yeah, Rob is tricky to read because he's very blank expression, and you don't know what's going on. So I'm always asking him, "Are you good? You all right? Are you in this with me?" Because he really controls his emotion, and he's got a fire about him. It's just you can't tell, and that probably just contributes to how comfortable he is as an offensive player and getting in a good rhythm, and because his demeanor, I think, helps him be pretty smooth out there on the floor when he's playing offense.
What are you worried about as far as what Washington State and Washington do? Is there anything you need to specific work that you're worried about that they do?
Yeah, I mean they're both kind of zone-oriented teams, with a little different ways that they go about doing it, different personnel, and like I touched on, particularly Washington State is one of the better three-point shooting teams. They can really score it. Scored a lot of points at home versus USC, and numerous other examples. I was watching them versus Oregon at Oregon, and they were very competitive in that game, up 4 at halftime, and shot 77% from the field in the first half. So they could really, when they get in a good rhythm on offense, they're a dangerous team. And then Washington is again one of the best defensive teams, not only in the Pac-12 but nationally.
What makes your zone so effective?
It's number one. It's Mike Hopkins and what he's learned over the years and coaching at Syracuse and teaching the zone and their rotations and where they need to be. And then it's also having the personnel to execute it, having a guy like Thibault that can steal the ball like 10 times in a game. Just his anticipation, his athleticism, big time defensive play.
I mean, you did have some success against the zone when you played Syracuse in the tournament. Did that help playing a Mike Hopkins defense and then facing Syracuse in the tournament to some extent?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's a different group this year. You know, we're built differently. We're not as reliant on the three-point shot. And when we get it in the high post, we can kick it out, but we can also attack, and we have a presence around the basket that you know, we may not have always had last year. So that's a big advantage for us.
Are you surprised that Washington's not ranked?
I am. I think it's the whole narrative that the league isn't any good, and everyone's been saying it, and it just spreads like wildfire to everywhere, and then everyone gets thrown into the same pool, and not fair. I mean, they've had, you know, their losses have been very close. I watched their game versus Gonzaga. They were very good in that game, and you know, that would have been a key win for them. But great record. You know, they've won 11 straight, I believe, and you know, certainly deserve to be ranked. Yeah, I feel great about our season and what we're doing. And again, we kind of get lumped in with everything that's going on, and people forget that we've had some great wins. We have a pretty good record.
Do you feel like you guys are an NCAA tournament team right now?
I mean, I feel good about how we're playing right now at the last couple of weeks, and everything can change in a second if you don't keep focusing on getting better. And you know, we have to get other guys to step up this week. You know, not having Tay in the fold, especially a guy that can really shoot it versus zones, and so we're going to have to get some other guys in there that could help us make shots.
How important is just not slipping up at home to your postseason aspirations?
Well, we know that these are 2 home games, and then 5 of the last 7 are on the road, so it's going to get more difficult after this week, and this week's going to be tough in itself. But you know, you have to try and protect your home court.
You talk about other guys stepping up for Tay Vitale because he's shown the progress he wanted to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vitale, it's Elias. Those guys are you know, Elias has had a great week of practice. He looks very good, and Vitale's a veteran. If his number gets called, he'll be ready for it.
Bobby, what's the ceiling for this team? And if this team puts it together for a full 40 minutes, just how far can this team go?
Yeah, I think we've taken you know, a lot of teams really good shots this year. You know, I think teams are ready to play us. We played great competition. We've proven that against the elite teams that we can not only win, or we can be very competitive, as in the Nevada game. So against the very best teams, you know, we match up and we belong in those games. So it's and I think we've grown as a team, and you know, we're there's still a lot of ways that we can improve and get better, but guys are moving the ball and trusting each other more on offense to share the ball, make the extra pass, and make the defense work, and not shoot early contested shots, or just, you know, have a mindless turnover. We're making our opponent guard us a little better, and that's helping you know, our defense. But you know, I think we're built to play in a game in the 60s, or you know, as you saw with Arizona, you know, even though it was overtime, you know, that game ended up in the 90s, and so there's a lot of ways that we can win games. Thank you, guys.